Oh, Susan, we're fancy today. We are doing fashion houses with beauty brands.
We
Ta-da!
are so fancy today. This episode is sponsored by Chanel Hermes. No, I'm just kidding. We are super, no one's sponsoring us. Don't panic. We are going to be talking about luxury fashion house beauty, which is different, as you know, Hill, from luxury beauty. There's a division of fashion house luxury beauty, meaning fashion houses that produce luxury items like skincare, makeup, fragrance. And today we're going to be talking about the makeup from these houses. What makes it different? What makes it unique? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? What do we like? What brands do we like? So stay tuned. Get out your Hermes scarf and your Chanel earrings and a little Dior bracelet and get your handbag from Givenchy and come join us on this little fun luxury episode.
Yes, and get your notepad because we're going to give you a little history at the end. We're going to help you navigate what's worth it, what's not. But here's the program. We're going to start out by naming the brand. Susan's going to tell you her favorite thing they do. I'm going to tell you my favorite thing they do. And we are just going to rapid fire through this. So, are you ready, Susan, for
Let's
luxury
have some
beauty?
fun.
Let's
I
do
am
it. All right.
so ready. Okay.
Okay. Brand number one, Hermes.
I love Hermes's nail polishes. I think they did those, they were the first that they launched, but I also think they did them the best. I love them. They're beautiful.
Love the colors, love their creative director. I love their lipsticks. You gave me one for my birthday. I wear it all the time. Love it. Next brand, Gucci.
Nothing.
I
Sorry.
know.
I don't like the brand. I don't like what they did with it. I mean, I like Gucci. I love Gucci, but I do not really like what they did with this line. I'm sorry.
I appreciate the nod to the 70s and their heritage of the heyday. I ran to the gondola. I was so excited. When I picked it up and everything was plastic, it broke my little baby heart. So, next up, Chanel.
Everything. I'm just kidding. It's true. But I was there for the launch of Glossamer, and I will forever love and own every shade of Glossamer, being the lip gloss addict that I am.
It's incredible. I love their cream bronzer, that Le Beige. Wear it every single day. Favorite. You can see
Les
I even
Beautiful.
dig, yep, I dig it out for roadies. It's so good. But yes,
It's
love
so
that one.
good. It's so
It's
good.
so good. Next up is Dior. J'adore
I, you
Dior.
know, J'adore Dior, my friend. At first, I was going to write down the powders because I really do believe Dior does the best powders. They are just like glass. They are so beautiful. But I have
Mhm.
to say, it's the new Forever concealer. I love their concealers. They are so skin-like, so beautiful. So Dior, you have my heart with concealers.
Yep. In within the Forever collection, the Skin Perfect foundation sticks. You're actually the one that
Yeah,
told me I had to skedaddle and go try them immediately. Brilliant, beautiful. I love seeing a stick foundation come back. So
I
universal.
know. I
Gorgeous.
know.
Prep your
I
skin
love
with
those two.
proper skin prep. Incredible. Next
Those
up,
are
Yves Saint Laurent, YSL, Yves Saint Laurent.
YSL. Don't sleep on the mascaras. They are excellent. Period.
Touche Eclat. I am still a die-hard Touche Eclat girl. I remember when they came with one shade and one shade only, which people will now say it's not inclusive. Yes, they brought out more shades. That's great. But if you recall, back then their one shade was a pink brightening luminizer, which now people
It
are
was.
selling separately as, a one shade for everybody. If you want that pink luminizer, obviously it's not going to work for everyone. Thrilled they've
Right.
expanded, but that's that. Still a Touche Clot. And I'm still an original Touche Clot. How about Valentino?
Oh, I had to pause on this one when you sent me this list because similar to Gucci, I don't care for the packaging. I don't feel it's up to standards. I feel it's a little plasticky and cheap. I'm going to put that out there. I'm sorry. But I do like the blush that can also be used as an eyeshadow. I think those are kind of different. So I don't, there isn't that, oh, there's nothing I like. I do like those.
Yes, I got excited about the rock stud when I saw it on the packaging. I thought, oh, cool, they're carrying it through. I get it. I'm getting what you're putting down, but it's a little light in the hand. to me, a little light in the hand.
Yeah.
But I do like their twin eyeliner in black and rosso because it's a really pretty black felt tipped liner. It's firm, but it's elegant. And on the other end, instead of having another black eyeliner, they have a red lip liner. Very clever for your evening
Yeah.
bag.
Yeah.
Okay,
I like
next,
again, that's something that's different, something different. I
different.
like that.
Clever. Great for evening, right? Or if
Mhm.
you just have that's your look, black eyeliner and a red lip. It's very French. And next up, Tom Ford.
Eyeshadows, those quads are magnificent. Not just the quality of them, which we know, Lauder did. The quality is excellent on those shadows, the pigmentation, the pigment load, but the color selection. Oh, the quads are just beautiful.
They do take me back to the 80s when everything was glossy and sexy and glam. So I knew you were going to say that, so I had to choose something else. And I equally love their blush, the blush, the shade and illuminate where you get the two shades in there. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Again, powders, shadows, blushes, powders, so good. And the creams too, incredible. Armani,
Foundations.
I know. In every pro kit. I mean, Pat did an incredible job on those foundations and everything she touches, you can see her fingerprints and you can see her trademark expertise. So, Victoria Beckham.
Outstanding. I think the whole line, incredible job on packaging, incredible job on being involved in it. Um, there really isn't much I don't like in the brand. I think it's hands down the best fashion luxury house makeup brand launch in a long time. And I love the eyeliners, as you all know. I love them. Love them.
Yes. I saw an interview with her recently where she really showcased how much she really rolls up her sleeves and gets involved in every shade, every formula. And it wasn't performative. You can tell that she's very heavily in there. So, Victoria, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on. We'd love to talk
Ugh.
more. Really appreciate someone that gets in and goes deep on product development. I love her eye pencil for the inner membrane because rather than just being a flat, beige, it has a little light reflection, not sparkle, but light reflection. So not only does it open up but brightens up and gives makes the eyes look sparklier and healthier. So love that.
Guerlain brow pencil. Excellent brow
Okay.
pencil, has a nice sharp tip to it. It's good, and I think it's a little sleeper product. I love the blonde shade. It's really nice.
That's good to know for blondes. I'm still old school with this. I love the meteorites. The meteorites, the setting
Mhm.
powder, the little pearls, the big, I'm not a big setting
Mhm.
powder person, but there's something really pretty and I can spot it across the room when someone's wearing it. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Givenchy.
Givenchy, the Prism Libre loose powder.
Mhm.
I know it was so controversial. Everybody was so up in arms on Instagram about, oh, the formula change, blah, blah, blah. That stuff doesn't really bother me and affect me. I've been around too long to be bothered by a formula change at this point. I like the new formula. I don't hate it. It is definitely more of a shimmer to it, but it's a finishing powder, people. It is not a setting powder. It's a finishing powder. There's a difference. This goes on as the last step before you go out the door, just in spots on the face. It is not a setting powder, it is a finishing powder. Thank you. It's my
That's a
TED
big
Talk.
deal. And also, if it's way too light reflective for you, you can mix it with a flat powder and you'll be golden. So, yes. But it was Sephora that made them make that change with the talc and they caved to Sephora. So, we understand that. It's all got to happen. You've got to sell your product at the end of the day. They're here to make a buck. So, um and then Prada. Prada's back. Prada's doing another line again.
Prada's back. I love that they came back. They
Mhm.
deserve to be back. The Italians do a wonderful job in product development, as you know, and I think they nailed it. I love it. I think the foundations are beautiful. I like the whole line, but the product that I really love is the lipsticks. I think the lipsticks are stunning, stunning.
Mhm.
Beautiful job, Prada.
I'm excited to see that they have some refillable components. And I have not played with them yet, but I saw a shadow in this sort of limey green, which sounds outrageous to people, but it will actually pick up if you have any golden in your eyes. It's a great, great option. So yeah, we
Yeah.
have we have all of our standards. So Which ones really go the extra mile? Because we know for so many of them, it's a vanity project. It's an ego play. It can also be, a gateway drug. It's, luxury brands are aspirational. If you can't afford a handbag or a piece of clothing off the runway, you can afford a lipstick, a wallet, something like that. So it's also entry level. And that said, we have one more that's coming that I think we're both so excited about. And Pat McGrath as the new creative director for Louis Vuitton is coming. I'm I'm holding my breath, Susan.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what she does with Vuitton. I know that they are launching with 55 lipsticks in homage to LV, which in Roman numerals, L is 50, V is 5. For those of you like myself that went to Catholic school and did Latin, you know Roman numerals as well. So it's 55 lipsticks, which, as I said earlier, she does beautiful lipsticks. She did lipsticks for Revlon that are still some of my favorites. She did her own line of lipsticks, obviously, that are exceptional. She helped Armani. Those lipsticks are great. She's got a lipstick track record, so I can see why they're launching with the lipsticks. Also, lipsticks are the number one impulse buy in luxury beauty. So I can see why they went with that. And I believe they're also going to do eyeshadow palettes. And that's how they're going to launch. From my reading, I also understand that they are going to keep the beauty line in-house, meaning only sold in the boutiques. So that's going to be interesting to see if they actually uphold that. I think it's a great way, as you were explaining, Hillary, in all the luxury fashion houses, they use beauty and fragrance as an entry point, as a way to have the customer come in, be a part of the house, be a part of the brand, and make an investment like little baby steps,
Right.
come and buy a lipstick, come buy a fragrance, and then maybe you'll come back and buy a scarf and some earrings and a handbag. And then maybe we'll get you into the clothing and the shoes one day. So I applaud them. I think it's really smart. I'm really excited and I can't wait. So I think we need a field trip to Vuitton when that comes out for
Let's do
sure.
it.
But that being said, Hill, of all of the fashion, makeup, luxury brands, which one is your favorite and why?
You know, That's like it's kind of like you said to my husband earlier today. It's sort of like picking a favorite child because we grew up with some of these. I grew up seeing these on my mother's, you know, on her countertop, on her vanity. Even my stepfather used YSL fragrances.
Mhm,
So I have
mhm.
to say over and over again, I do rely on Dior a lot in my pro kit, but Chanel. I think Chanel has just always been my favorite, and it's been one that has performed for me really, really well. So
Yeah.
it's so hard. I wanted to say, I really wanted to say Givenchy, but when I look at what I'm actually holding and using every single day, there's a lot more Chanel than anything else in there. So I would be, it would be wrong of me to call out anyone else when this is truly what's been performing, even as as a pro brand. And a lot of people don't realize that a lot of these luxury fashion houses are actually considered pro brands too. Chanel and Dior leading the way. We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, mine, obviously, the first two guesses don't count, is Chanel. I loved them so much, I went to work for them for over a decade. So I know everything. You can ask me anything. We should probably do an episode on the
You
history and
should.
every ingredient, every person, everything. I know where every lipstick is buried. But I will tell you this. When people would always ask me, do you get what you pay for? Is it worth it? Hands down, yes. Why?
Mhm.
Because there are certain luxury fashion brands on this list that outsource.
Mhm.
Okay, meaning they have the product created, tested, made someplace else in with a different company, different labs. And there are some on here that have their own R&D, which is research and development. They have their own in-house labs, they have their own teams, and they create and make everything themselves in-house. Chanel is one of those, and they always have. So nothing is outsourced. The ingredients from, everything from owning, their own fields, their own vineyards, their own flower fields in Grasse, and then their own vanilla. fields in Madagascar for a lot of the ingredients in sublimage. I could go on and tell you where every single ingredient is sourced from and what they own. And it is impressive. There is an integrity there. So you're paying for the packaging, you're paying for the ingredients, you're paying for the advertising, the marketing. Yes, 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 and yes. But just know that the cost of goods on some of these luxury products, because they're housed in glass, the shipping, etc., you do get what you pay for in a lot of this. Are we going to sit here and tell you guys, oh, you should only buy luxury fashion beauty? No, you buy what you like. And we think we've said this since we started, but you should know that there is a cost for doing business this way. And it's the consumer that
Right.
ends up paying for it.
I mean, there are different types of glass. When we go into product development and we're choosing the glass, we're not just saying, oh, will it be frosted? Will it be treated? What's the deco going to be? There are different levels of glass. So you can get glass from many different regions and it makes a difference which glass you're using. And you also will often feel from the weight, like something as simple as this has up to 6, 7 components. And then if you want to add the deco and all of the treatment to
Right.
everything, every single thing people sat in a conference room, they spent on it, it's going to last. So, it's fun. And you see us a lot of times mixing the high and the low, the department store, drugstore, we
Totally.
get it all together. But it's important to know that if you're buying into a luxury brand, some of them actually are luxury and some of them are more of a vanity project. And we never want to diss anyone, but
No.
we definitely want to highlight those that really go the extra mile to really put it in there. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we hope
And
this was
on that
helpful.
note, yeah. And on that note, least favorite, no guesses there. For me, it was Gucci. I really love the house. I love the brand, but I feel that they failed the consumer. I really do. I am not impressed with the product itself, the gray undertones in a lot of the products. And there's no excuse for that packaging. There's no excuse to have that type of plastic packaging when you are charging those type of luxury prices. Yes, Chanel has a plastic, but it's a different type of plastic. I mean, oh, we don't want to spend time dissing anyone and really hating on any brand because that's not what Life Gloss is about. But I was really disappointed. I was really let down with Gucci overall as a luxury brand. And I'm sure some of our listeners were too.
Right. And you may disagree with us. Please disagree in comments. Tell us about things that we
Please.
missed. Maybe we didn't get something right. But yes, I mean, I ran to that bay and that gondola and I was so excited and I picked up the lipstick and I was expecting it to have a weight to it and I picked it up and it almost flew out of my hand and I thought, "Oh, they've spent so much on deco. It's not easily recyclable. I'm sure someone will come for me there, but trust me, we've both been in product development for so long. They're tough to recycle and it's a lot of plastic. And I just wasn't getting the love and the payoff. And I spent a lot of time with the lipsticks, even. So,
Yeah.
what can you say?
Sorry, Gucci. No bueno.
We still
Or I don't
love
know how
you,
to say
though.
that in Italian. Would you
Neither
say
do
that
I.
in Italian? No
I don't think
bueno.
we're going to be
But
welcome there for a while. So, don't worry.
so yeah, yeah. But
The French do it. The
I
French
think
do it. And, Italian labs do incredible products. We know Italian brands that do
yeah,
incredible products. In fact,
yeah,
um, the one of the big trade shows is kicking off in Bologna for color just today. So, I mean, the
yeah,
Italians
yeah,
do it better when it comes to
yeah,
formulation. So this was a really
yeah.
strange miss for me. So,
It was a strange miss. I feel some heads should roll because it was not up to standard and up to par. That being said, as we look through this list, I felt Valentino maybe fell a little short as well on the packaging for the price. Um,
hmm,
I felt maybe that was a little bit of a vanity grab too, similar to
yeah.
Gucci. I didn't really love any of the formulas, and that was a little bit of a letdown. I don't hate it, I mean, but it was a little bit of a letdown. I feel Hermes, there's some products I really love, and there's some products, the powders, the eyeshadows, I'm looking at you, they are just really dry. There's just not the luxury feel that's there. Yet, on many of the other products, just exquisite. The lips are
Right.
incredible. The nails, they did a good job, but
Yeah.
I'd like
The
to get
lips
in
are
there.
incredible. I can see the creative director's eye in the shades, in the lips, and in the nails. Beautiful. I was really expecting this skin. I was expecting from Hermes luxury skin. I was expecting to put that balmy complexion product on and immediately have rich bitch skin. I was expecting it
Yeah.
to be a little see-through, a little transparent, but to give me a wall of color correction and light reflection. And it was like kind of dry. It was separated in the tube even. I had to work to reconstitute it on my hand, but not in a good serumy way, not like in a shake it up with a ball because it could separate because that's intentional. We want to keep those apart. None of that. It was a little unfortunate. So maybe they'll revisit. Maybe they'll come back.
I
I'm sure
hope
they'll be
so,
getting some
because
feedback.
people need to understand when, as we're going through these and we're picking everybody kind of apart here. And I feel like giving good critical feedback, because I hope some people are listening out there, that maybe are in the industry that can do something about it. But coming from the luxury world that I came from, there is so much, there are no mistakes, people. Everything is a decision. From the sound that the lipstick case makes when it closes should sound like the door of a Mercedes closing or a Jaguar closing. I mean, the weight of the lipsticks, the weight of the product, the smell. It is a full sensory luxury experience when you are dealing with these fashion luxury brands. And if it's not there, the consumer does get disappointed.
Mhm.
Hillary's holding up the beautiful new rebranding that YSL did. They wanted all of these shadow compacts, their new pressed powders, to have the look and feel of a handbag. And they did a gorgeous job. And guess what?
Mhm.
When you're paying that much money, you want something like that. You're not just
And
buying an eyeshadow, you're buying an image. You are buying into the whole smoke and mirror show of luxury beauty. And that's really what it's about.
And this could have gone very, very wrong. This concept, from concept on a design board and even from a factice and from a sample, this could have gone very wrong, but I'm telling you, they did a really nice job. Actually feels like luxury. It doesn't feel like plastic. You can actually feel that it
No.
has a seam. It doesn't feel trite or, like a cheap nod in their handbag, in the handbag collection. It really does feel like a clutch, and I've beaten this
Yeah.
thing up. I will say
Yeah.
I'm not very precious with my makeup and it's held up beautifully. So
Yeah. I
the
just
shadows
bought
are
the
incredible.
I just bought the pressed powder in YSL. My daughter stole it. It's
Already?
beautiful. Yeah, that's hers now. Because I don't really wear powder, and I bought it for
Right.
the packaging. Like, see, we've all been around for 100 years, and we still do stuff like this. Okay, do I use a pressed
Mhm.
powder? No, but I thought, oh, I'll pull it out in my handbag at night. It looks beautiful. I loved the packaging so much, so she took it.
Right.
I also want to give a shout out to Dior. They just redid their highlighting powders and their bronzers, and they are gorgeous. Again, the product is beautiful. It's a makeup artist driven line. The ingredients, the quality, the feel, it's just the viscosity of those products are incredible. But the packaging is also, that's up to standard. So pay
Mhm.
attention, Gucci and Valentino, when you go to redo your line eventually again. Take a look at some of these, benchmark some of these other luxury
Right.
fashion makeup brands, because they do it beautifully. So
And people are paying attention and they know.
people,
Mhm.
the consumer, especially when you're talking about this consumer, in this day and age, to go into a store and pay $75 for a pressed powder is not inexpensive and is not available to everyone. So if you are going to save your pennies and you are going to make that trek in and do something like that, you want to be sure you're getting not just a quality product, but a product that looks and feels quality. It doesn't feel like cheap plastic, and it doesn't fall
Right.
apart and the lid break. Yeah,
Oh.
that happened. So I think, in looking through this list, there's so many, there's some negatives here, but there's so many positives. Hats off to Victoria Beckham. She has
Oh.
done what I feel is the best job in a luxury fashion house beauty line in decades. That she nailed it. The packaging, the product, the color line, everything I bought. I just did a big haul at Blue Mercury in Tribeca,
Right.
so shout out to the team there. And I have to tell you, every product I purchased, I did lips, a gloss. I'm looking over at my product, and I'll do a little Instagram live on this or a little Instagram post. The eye pencils, the eyeliners are come on, they are just magnificent. The primer, I mean, I did a big haul and I love it. And it's not just the packaging, but the color and the quality that's in there. You can tell she rolled her sleeves up and really went to work versus so many other brands will just slap a name on it. And
Mhm.
the celebrity lines, which we're going to do another episode on celebrity brands. I worked at Coty, so I know all about trademark branding celebrity brands. So many of them, you don't even, the person in charge, the name that's given, they don't even show up to a meeting. So in a line like Victoria Beckham, I really feel she went above and beyond and she got down and dirty with her makeup line and did an incredible job. And it was the second time around. First time around, she
Right.
was with Lauder. I loved it then. They sent me the line then. I loved it. And then it went away and I was devastated. I'm like, what happened to Victoria Beckham? Those
Oh,
eyeshadows were incredible.
crushed.
She went ahead and did it herself and she did it better, which was, really incredible.
Yeah.
So
I
my
I
hat's
want to hear
off.
more. I
Yeah,
love
I
it.
really, let's manifest her coming on the show because I just feel she's someone who puts herself out there. And I think really, I mean, hats off. It's not easy, listeners, this industry.
Mm.
Everyone is so hard on each other. The beauty industry is expensive. In many cases, it's like a minimum of $1 million to come out and do, any type of new brand. It's not something to take lightly. And I think that you got to give credit where credit's due. I'm really impressed with her as a business person and as a line. So check it out. It is hard to get. It's right now she's only in select Blue Mercuries and Bergdorf Goodman in Manhattan, and she is also online. But I'm hoping she rolls out so everybody can really go check it out.
Yes, bravo. And let's some in comments, let us know if you would like to have her on, and then maybe we can appeal to her team and see who we know that knows that knows that knows. Because we're all connected in beauty somehow, somewhere.
We
And yes, we really respect what she's done and how she's gone out and forged a way for herself. So I always love when someone, changes gears when, they've maybe been under an umbrella. We're seeing a lot of women that, were under other brands and are coming back out and doing their own thing. So
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
to talk
It's
about these
exciting.
stories and love to elevate them. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
pretty
So,
exciting. So,
I think
what's
the
the
big
moral of the
question.
story, Susan? Yeah.
Yeah, the moral of the story, my friends, to wrap up our little, luxury fashion house beauty show today is, do you get what you pay for? Is it worth it? We've talked about the brands we like, what segment they did, what SKU we really liked in the brand line. Some of them are more makeup artist driven. Some of them you get what you pay for. Some you're paying just for the packaging. But overall, something that you have to understand about luxury fashion house beauty, certain companies, Chanel, I'm looking at you, Dior, I'm looking at you, have their own labs, have their own research, have their own teams of scientists creating and making the ingredients. Chanel even owns their own fields in Madagascar for their vanilla planifolia. They own their own flower fields in Grasse for decades to create the fragrances. So
Right.
yes, do you get what you pay for in these luxury fashion house makeup brands? Yes and no. Yes, some of them you do. No, some of them you're just simply paying for a name. So do some research on your own too, but take it from us. It's not inexpensive to produce these lines. A lot of companies, it is not just an ego trip. There is a lot involved. And it's something that you have to decide for yourself at the end of the day. Is it worth it to me? In some cases, as I look through our list, I would say half of these to me are worth it, are worth the price. The other half, not so much. And we'll let you listeners figure it out.
Right. I think we've given them enough tips. And if you are a longtime Life Gloss listener, you know we mix the high with the low. And
Yeah.
I'm really pushing and really hoping and hoping that we come back into a state rather than being in mass consumerism and feeling like we just have to buy everything we see on TikTok or Instagram all the time or we're going to be out of date. What is out of date in my opinion is always chasing a trend. The influencers are always feeding you trends because they've got to get your eyeballs by showing you something shocking, different, new. Whereas I don't know that there's enough focus put on making your own signature look, changing it seasonally, dressing it up, dressing it down. It doesn't have to stay the same, but crafting your own look. And Susan, I think we should maybe even do an episode just on that. What does that mean to
Yeah.
you? Because who cares if you have every single highlighter, every single blush, every single pink powder that everybody's always making? What's your singular look? What's your brand, which is overused, but it is what it is. So, um, purchase more intentionally,
Chase,
and hopefully this helps you with that. Don't get sucked
yeah.
in just because it's aspirational and luxury.
Yeah, chasing trends is exhausting and you're
Oh,
never going to win. So I would rather have quality over quantity any day. I would
oh,
rather have one great $50 lipstick that looks, lasts, has great ingredients. I love the packaging. I love how it feels in my hand. Than 20 shades that I'm not in love with. I don't love the packaging. I don't love the feel. It's a waste. And you're right, Hill. A lot of it is classics stay forever, trends come and go. So take away from this episode that classics are forever your friend in fashion. They're forever your friend in beauty too. There is a reason why many of these fashion makeup beauty brands have been around for decades. And there's many reasons why some have come and gone and had to relaunch, or some on this list are not going to be here 5 years from now, maybe
right.
less. And I can tell you that for a fact. That's my little makeup crystal ball, but I can eyeball and say, oh, this one, oh, I wouldn't put my money on it if I was a betting gal, but I can tell you the ones that will be around for a long time because they've put the money into the brand, they've invested into the R&D, they've invested into the packaging, etc., and they've invested into the consumer. So take
And
with
that's
that
a lot
what you
of it.
will.
Investing in the consumer in the product is where you can tell. When the formula is good, when the packaging doesn't fall apart, when they don't irritate your skin, when it doesn't just brush off like cheap glimmer and cheap, schlitter, like we like to say. But you can tell when a
Glitter.
brand's invested in the consumer. And it's not
Yeah.
just a flash in the pan. They do a few little collabs, a few big advertising, and then there's not a lot of follow up. You can tell when it's an attention grab and when it's luring you just to make that cheap and easy sale for vanity. But there are some out there that are really worth it and things that will become staples for you, perhaps. And then you can buy the fun little add ons and the accoutrement otherwise if you want to. So,
I always tell people invest in foundation, invest in powder. You know, a lot of other things you could go very drugstore and inexpensive. And we've done past episodes on this, where to spend your money, where not to. But especially when you're dealing with these luxury fashion houses, you are paying for that image. So if you are going to grab something, I would always grab a beautiful compact or a pressed powder or something along those lines, or a great lipstick. Those, and they make nice gifts too.
oh, they're great gifts. That people always love getting a little gift like that. All right, Susan. Well, we're going to sign off for now because we've got some back of the house housekeeping to do for some really fun upcoming episodes. But everyone, continue to follow us. We're at Life Gloss Podcast everywhere. Continue commenting. If there are people that you'd like to have on, let's invite them in. Let us know. We read every comment and we love it. So keep watching, keep following, and thank you for sharing. We see so many of your shares. We see it when you share. So thank you to every single one of you. And Susan and everyone else, as always, stay glossy.
Stay glossy.